Hey everybody, welcome to this new podcast that we're doing called the LTJ Podcast. I am John Shockey.
I'm Monica Zecchi.
And we're going to be your hosts for this podcast that is going to focus on trafficking and what it means to be trafficked, what it means to help trafficked people, and we're going to describe traffickers to you. We're going to do all kinds of things. It might get dark in these episodes, who knows, right?
Yeah, so we always have a box of tissues on hand, just in case we're preparing.
But we wanted to kind of do this thing so we can take what LTJ's been working on, which is helping trafficking survivors out to the people, right? We want to get information out to as many people as possible. So we're hoping this podcast idea is going to serve as that and is going to help you share the word by just hitting the share button and pushing these episodes to as many friends of yours as possible.
Yep. So for this first episode, we wanted to kind of talk about the foundations of LTJ, how it started, where it's going, all of the fun stuff. So we have a very, very important and special guest with us today. We are joined with Tasoni Manal. Hi Tasoni, how are you?
Fine. How are you, Monica?
I'm doing well.
Can we ask you to please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Manal Musa, and I am one of two co-founders for Leaving the Jar. The other co-founder is Isaac Akladius, who is in California, who couldn't be with us today. And we've been serving together since 2003 in Leaving the Jar, since it started.
For all of the viewers that have no idea what Tasoni means, what is Tasoni?
That's a good question. The exact meaning of the word is a sister, or a fellow sister in the in the ministry and the service. However, the commonly used meaning is basically a priest wife in the Coptic Church.
All right, so that tells us you're a priest's wife?
Yes.
All right, well, there you go.
Well, Tasoni, you are very, very heavily involved in LTJ. And so I just wanted to start with maybe the name. So where did Leaving the Jar come from, and why did you guys choose that name?
The name Leaving the Jar comes actually from the story of the Samaritan woman from the Bible. Because with her, the jar represents like her burdens that she was carrying, her shame, her heavy load. So the name came from that, and we try to encourage everyone and walk the journey of healing with people, of transformation. So they can put down their jar, their burden, their shame, and transform their lives.
So Leaving the Jar is an organization that fights human trafficking. For those watching who might not know what human trafficking is, can you give us like a quick definition of human trafficking?
Is when a person gives services under force, fraud, or coercion, and they might get something out of it. They might even get money, but it's still under force, fraud, and coercion.
So that's the key: force, fraud, and coercion.
Yes, however, if they're under the age of 18, you do not have to even prove force, fraud, and coercion. They are not able to consent to sex, even if it's commercial sex. They're not able to consent to being, labor trafficked.
And there's two types of trafficking: labor and sex trafficking. Is that correct? So how did you even start this whole journey? Like, how did it happen?
Okay, let me start by just going a step back a little bit. So as you know, I'm a priest wife. We have two children. So when the idea of like trafficking came, I was like, when I started to discover cases, and we were at the time actually in the mission. We were serving in East Africa, and I noticed some cases, and I was in the market, and I was wondering, where are the young girls that we serve sometimes on Sunday? What's happening? And somebody said, let me take you just right behind, and I'll show you. And we walked into a house that was one bedroom house, and there were some of the girls there, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? They had to kick the guys out. They had to tell them, oh, get out, my friends are here, we're gonna read the Bible. And I asked, what is going on here? And they're like, this is how we live. The landlord sends us customers, and we have to listen, and we have to do what they ask, so that way we continue to live in this house. And that's what it shocked me. These are young kids. Honestly, they're young women with kids. Like, they're so young even to live that kind of life. They're so young to be controlled like that. They have a future ahead of them, and it's really unfair to them and to their kids. Like, outside the house, I saw like 4 kids playing, and I'm like, who are these? They're our kids. They don't even know who the parent is. This is the life they've been living. This is how they think they can earn living, and they feel controlled, and they can't get out of it. And that was a shocking fact for me. These are kids that some of them I knew because I served in church. Some of them were their friends. So it was very shocking. Mm-hmm. And that's how it started. I have 2 kids of my own. I could not imagine something like that happening to my kids or to anybody actually in the world. People are meant to live a life. Yes, life has hardship, but they're meant to live a life of freedom, a life of achievement, a life of growth, a life of healing, not a life of pain and suffering and slavery.
You were serving some of these folks in church and you couldn't tell just by looking at them?
The culture, it was specifically one of the girls, and the culture is, it's culturally kind of accepted that they, go ahead and have relationships, but it cost them their future. They are not allowed to be in school if they're discovered to be pregnant. So if that girl, was pregnant, came out, from school, and I'm like, okay, is that the culture? What can we do about it? And I'll tell you, we, 2 programs were born out of this story, actually.
Can you tell us more?
Oh, okay. At the same time when this was happening, actually, I was one of, they call them mamas, the older women, the servant in the church. One of the mamas came to me and said, hey, Mama Manal, I want to share with you a story, a sad one that was in the newspaper. And I said, okay, what happened? She said, a young girl, I think, like still in elementary, believe it or not, like 8 to 9 years old, she was befriended with an older man in a nearby school, and he would wait for her outside the school, just take her, walk her to her house and buy her simple things like chips. Chips in that culture means like French fries, chips, or maybe like a soda or a little Vaseline or something that she would feel so happy, or a banana, something that she will feel so happy about. And then eventually, after a few weeks of doing that, now he said, why don't you come and visit me in my house? And nobody had a clue this was happening. And then he took her in, and unfortunately that girl that night, she lost more than just herself. She basically gained HIV and AIDS, unfortunately, because there's a culture concept of like, the more somebody with HIV and AIDS sleeps with virgins or young people, the more you transfer the curse to them, and then you're healed and more years is added to you. And that story was actually in the news. So it was really heartbreaking, and I kept thinking, between what I saw in the market and between this story, we have to do something for the kids, whether they're our kids in the Coptic church or in the village, it doesn't matter. We just really have to do something. There's a reason why we're there, and the church needs to open their eyes on this. And actually, out of this, a program called Daughters of St. Mary was born. I met with the mama servants, and we've been praying for a few weeks, actually for a few months. It took us about 5 to 6 months, like brainstorming about a program. What can we do for these kids? What can we help them with? How can we spread knowledge without also, going through the right path in their culture, in their mind? And Daughters of St. Mary program was born, and basically it's more like a spiritual day for them. So every month they come to church, we have a spiritual day, they have like breakfast, we play, they have sports, they put on like drama and skits out of the stories they learn, and we usually give them a couple of topics. One is biblical based, the other one is like trying to address the situation, whether how to protect yourself, how to heal, how do you deal with different situations, how do you stay active in school and focus, how do you help yourself from protect yourself from HIV and AIDS. Almost every home has somebody who is sick for one reason or another, so they face sicknesses a lot, and they become sometimes victims because of that. And thank God, I think we faced a little bit of like resistance, because some people kept saying, what's going on here, why our kids are going to this program. And even some of the chief came and said, what are you doing, why are you taking our kids? We said, no, this is what the program is. And they were so happy with it. It's just once a month, spiritual meeting. And they would actually, after that, they were so happy to bring kids and said, can you bring this to our own village? Can we have more of this? And thank God, I think the first time we did this, we enrolled about 200 girls in this program, and every year we asked them to sign up again. So that way they're free, their parents are free to join. And the following year, we would never, after that, we would never have anything less than 250 kids. And we spread it out to even other churches. So we had, or other like villages. We had about 4 of those running. So the first Sunday was in a location, the second in another, the third, the fourth. So we had so many people who were able to go through this program. And I remember the first year, I think out of the 200, we had about 5 girls who fell pregnant. And they know if you get pregnant, you're out of the program, and also they lose their education. On the side, we'll help them, but they're not part of this program because we're trying to really keep them focused. And the following years, we had 0. And that's actually the encouraging thing. Like that's why the chief of the different villages will come and be like, can you take this to our village? We see that these girls, are more focused, they're really trying their best, they're more wise in their, social dealings, and, God was really glorified. We were able to support and protect and prevent, and that was our goal. As much as we're working with the girls in the market, trying to rescue and rehabilitate, I really saw a great benefit in prevention.
So you're talking about the program Daughters of St. Mary. How did this eventually transform into you founding and creating LTJ?
So Leaving the Jar was established in 2003. And as I said, it really started in Kenya with these two stories. And we did the rehabilitation and rescue, but we also focused a lot on awareness, like the program of Daughters of St. Mary. And after we did this for a few years, for actually more than 8 years, we discovered that the problem is not limited to Kenya. And it's not even limited to age. We discovered young people fall in it, old people, boys, girls. So we found out that it's also happening in Zambia. And that's when the program extended there as well, education and rescue. Now we found out, my background is Egyptian, so I found out that Egypt is not immune either. There are so many cases there, and it grew in Egypt. We started in Egypt in 2018, and we came back to the US after so many years of mission in Africa, and I was shocked that the US is the number one consumer. So the program even grew into what it is today in the US. So you have Leaving the Jar in all these 4 countries, and I am sure more will come.
So Kenya, Zambia, Egypt, and the US.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've told us, but can you tell us what year this started in Kenya?
2003.
Okay, so you guys have been at this, at least in this format, for 22 years.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Just, we need to know all these little details just because, this is our first episode and I want them to really understand what LTJ is and where you guys came from and what's your plan. So maybe tell us a little bit about your work here in the US now and what is your plan?
So, like I said, we really try any area that we walk into, we try to understand really what's happening, what's the root cause of trafficking, how is the culture plays a role, what are the needs that makes people fall into this. In some places it's honestly ignorant. In other places it's poverty or need or drugs or whatever the case is. So in the US, again, it wasn't much different than the other places, so we found out that there is a lot of ignorance. This happens in our backyard, in our malls, in our schools, and in many places, in the workplace sometimes, or even in neighborhoods, and nobody is aware of it and acknowledges it. So we really focused a lot on the prevention piece by awareness. So we do awareness in different churches. We've done awareness for youth, for parents, for church leaders and servants. And we've seen actually fruit from this a lot. A lot of people come back and say, thank you, we didn't realize this, and come back and say, you know what, I just saw this and I didn't connect it until I got the training, so now I understand. Or I'm able to address the kids and the youth that I serve in the community and the church better because now I understand what's going on. We also work on the rehabilitation piece. Right now in the US, we're in the process of getting approval for license for a safe home that will house survivors for an average of 2 years as they go through their healing journey. And it's a holistic approach, so they will be able to receive, the education needed or the life skill needed, the counseling, the rehab, the support, the spiritual and emotional and psychological intervention that's needed to walk with them this journey of healing as they transition back into the world.
Can I ask you, what are some challenges you've encountered as LTJ has grown, and then what are some things that maybe you thought were going to be challenging but actually just came very easily?
Challenging, believe it or not, paperwork. I didn't realize paperwork is a big deal in every country, but I'm not in Africa, I'm here. So paperwork takes lots of time, but we understand. I mean, there is a reason why these steps are there, but it's definitely taking much longer than I thought and I expected.
2 questions for you. Are you only offering trainings to churches?
No. We actually train in the jobs, in the workplace. We train in different community settings. We can do in Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. We do it actually on friend spaces. If you want to gather a few of your neighbors, over tea, and we have done those and it's been very helpful. We use different methods according to get the message across. So we do game nights. We do actually solve traffic mystery over dinner. We do movie nights. We do straight out, sessions. We do it on Zoom, virtual or in person. We have done community initiative, and we just do it according to the need of that area and what works best for them. but it's not limited to age group or a certain church or community.
2 quick questions. How much do you charge?
Absolutely nothing.
It's free?
Yes. It's actually called FIT, F-I-T-T, Free in Truth Training. We believe really wholeheartedly when Christ said that, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. And that's what we're hoping. We're hoping that when they know the truth, it will set them free. And when we share the message, we don't only share the dark side. These are the signs, these are the problems, be careful. No, we cannot live in fear. We share this and we share hope. And we share support and we share resources. How and where can you find resources?
All right, my last question, and then Monica will probably get to ask some. Do you have to be Christian to participate, or after participation, do I have to become Christian because you guys took care of me?
Not at all.
I mean, you're looking at me like it's a crazy question,
Yeah,
but like,
absolutely.
I'm sure there's people
I feel like there's
asking
people,
this, yes.
people are going to ask this, right?
Are you talking about the training?
Yeah, like if you're going to take care of me as a survivor, if you're going to train me, do I have to be a Christian, or do I have to vow to become a Christian afterwards?
No, but we are a faith-based organization, and I've all these years since 2003 until now, I really see the powerful impact of the faith and Christ's presence in the life of the survivor or in the life of the person that needs, and faces those information. So definitely, it is a very important element of the journey, and we are faith-based. So
if I'm an atheist, can you train me?
Absolutely, yes.
If I'm an atheist and I've been trafficked, can I come and participate?
Yes.
Will you tell me I have to become a Christian by the end of it?
You don't have to become a Christian, but definitely the spiritual element will be part of the program.
So it's a part of the healing?
Yes.
But not mandatory Christianity is what I'm saying.
Absolutely not.
Hey, look, I'm asking because...
I know, yes. Tasoni, where do you see LTJ in the next few years? What are some goals you have for the ministry? Like, what are you excited? What things are coming that you're excited for?
Well, my dream is to have no more human trafficking anywhere in the world, of course. And I think with a community, a group working together, these things, we can definitely keep reducing that evil. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But the dreams to come is make sure that as many people have received awareness as possible. While we're trying to rescue 10, 20, 30, 40, hundreds of people in the same time in those 2 years of the healing journey, you would have hundreds fallen into this trap, whether, online or in person. But I would love to protect thousands and millions of people. So that's why we do it hand in hand. So my dream is every year to educate and to give awareness to at least 5,000 people, and hopefully it will continue to multiply. For intervention, like I'll give you an example. In Egypt this year, the first time we did it, we had 7 students in college scholarship, and you will wonder what's college scholarship to do with this. The trafficking age in Egypt is very close to that between, the high school to college, and that's why we did this as a prevention. First time it was 7 students, and then it kept multiplying. This year, after 5-6 years, we have 453 students receiving support. So it keeps multiplying. So we would love to continue to multiply that number.
Quick question. Do you guys work with any agencies here in the U.S.?
On the sense of...
are any law enforcement agencies reaching out to you with cases? Does anybody know that LTJ exists?
Yes, we do get actually calls from child services. We get calls from, FBI asking when is the house going to be ready and if they can refer to us some survivors. We have actually worked with survivors already in the U.S. even without having the house, but we walk with them the journey as far as we can, and we connect them to a rehab or a safe home if needed. So we still support and we still work with survivors even before the house is ready. So definitely, yes, we partner a lot with different law enforcement in different counties.
What is 1 or 2 things that you want everyone watching to know?
I would love everyone watching to know that you are part of this fight. It's either we can stand together to be part of the solution, or we can be, supporting the problem. So each one of us can definitely learn more, can spread awareness, can spot the signs, can shine light into the lives of people who need it.
All right, so we have come to the end of our first episode of many more to come. I promise this is not it. So me and Monica are very, very happy that we got a chance to interview you today, Tasoni, as the beginning of this LTJ podcast. We hope you guys will stick with us for the next few episodes.
And we are excited to see what we are going to be bringing you, and we hope that you guys stay tuned.
For the next few episodes, we're going to have a bunch of different people coming here, and we're going to get to talk to them. We're going to get to talk to some lawyers. We're going to get to talk to some doctors. We're going to get to talk to some therapists. We're going to get to talk to, hopefully, some trafficking survivors. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy this because I think we're going to enjoy doing it.
And we're going to get into some deeper, darker topics. You know, we're not going to get scared to talk about things that maybe aren't normally talked about. So be prepared to maybe hear some topics that you're not used to normally hearing.
Grab a box of tissues while you're at it.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Bye, and we'll see you soon.